Hello guys, welcome back to PowerShell Titans and let us start with some advanced techniques, functions and then scripts related things, and then today we will be seeing a lot of content related to commanded binding and functions, and then how to call a function from another function, how to call one script to another script, how to import a script, all those things. So these are all the things you will be using when you are actually writing more than one script and then trying to integrate them, all those things. So let's pay close attention, and then let's go in a flow. I made it in a kind of flow so that it will be connected and then easy to understand. So first let's talk about the functions, and then we are going to talk about the command-let binding. So what is command-let binding? So let me open another window, and also stop, stop hyphen transcript so that previous will be done. Start hyphen transcript, and let us say advance 6.txt. Okay, now first of all, command-led binding is something which is gonna change function into a command. That's all it is gonna do. So let's open another notepad. Okay, so what is command-led? It just gonna change a normal function very similar to commandlet. What is commandlet? The other commandlets, what we use in PowerShell, right? Let's say get hyphen computer or get hyphen event log, everything, right? So what are the commandlet provides? Let's say documentation. What are the commandlets will be having? Let's say it will have documentations, and it will have strict rules of taking the arguments, right? Arguments, when I say arguments, let's say a command get hyphen service, or let's say get hyphen service. Okay, and then I type name. Instead of name, I just type NAM, and then I'm just making a mistake and then typing something else. It will say that particular command is not available. And also, let's say I say I'm sending more than one parameter. Let's say I'm assuming it will take it automatically, but let's see what is going to happen. What I'm thinking is getting a service. Okay, let us say I wanted to get two or more services. Okay, and I'm saying spooler and leave a space, another, let's say Bluetooth or anything. So this is gonna say a positional parameter cannot be found. Okay, means we cannot go like this. Okay, like we cannot just go and execute it as we cannot pass more than one parameters, and then it will have restricted parameters, it will have restricted arguments. Now what is parameter and argument? They both are same. Okay, argument is equals to parameters. So we are going to use we are going to use parameters and arguments now and then. So now, as I say, this very simple thing is normal function, we are going to change it to commandlet. Why would we would be changing a normal commandlet, and why we want to use a commandlet sort of thing? Because let's say we are using a function. Okay, and then the function is very sensitive, and then we don't want at any point of time to be sending lot of information, and then we don't want that function to be exploited by a wrong usage. Let's say I'm trying to use here get service, and then without knowledge I'm just trying to do something. Okay, let's say if this is gonna work, okay, that means we are actually not following a particular protocol or writing style, right? So it's not only about that, it is also about making more security and more, as I say, documentation purpose, all those things. Okay, so whenever we see command let binding, all you need to remember is this function can be used as a command let either in the console itself or in another script. So how do we actually do that? Let us take a function. Okay, let's write a function. Okay, and let's say this is the function here. Get, let's say, computer name. Okay, let's check whether that get hyphen computer name is there. Okay, it's not there. So excellent. We are going to write a function called get hyphen computer name, and this is just the format. Okay, you don't have to remember what is this, all those things. Okay, as of now, just keep it simple. We can pass lot of information inside, but as of now, this is all you need. And when this is the first line of the function, and then followed by the parameter. And this, as I said, once we mention this, that is gonna say the PowerShell that this particular function will be changed as a commandlet and will be used as a commandlet. Now let us save it as we are not changing doing anything, and let's say we are not even getting parameters, all those things. Okay, now let us just save this as a simple one. Let us say command or dns.txt or ps1. Okay, and save it. Now dns.ps1. Okay, it's nothing is happening. Okay, and let us say right. Okay, just we are gonna do some operation. Okay, write hyphen host imported successfully. This is to check whether when we are running this particular command, whether this function is available for us in this console or not. Okay, so first we'll again run it. First of all, this is not executing means, and let us also check whether this command is available. That is also not available. So means that function is not imported or we are not doing it correct. So what's the right way to import a function? Let's say you will be, when you start writing a complex scripts, right, you will be putting all the functions into one particular file, and then you will be keeping that as a function file. Let's say how I'm naming this DNS, similarly you will be saying that as a master function file or something like that, and then you will be importing it. So how you will be importing it? All you need to do is add one more dot and leave a space. This is very important. If you leave a space only, it will be actually importing. Okay, and now let us try get hyphen computer name is available, right? Means this is available, and let us try. I'm just typing this as very similar like a command, right? And it is executing. Okay, and don't worry about this zero, I'm going to explain that. Okay, now let us do one thing. Okay, before that, we are not getting any parameter, we are not doing anything with parameter. Okay, now let's talk about arguments. Args is something related to automatic variable. So we have a lot of variables like let's say PS path and PowerShell module path, all those, and dollar true, dollar false, all those things are automatic variables, right? Which is defined by PowerShell and then will be used. This arguments is nothing but an array or collection of all the parameters passed to a script or function. So this is the definition. So what does that mean? So let's say I'm sending get hyphen computer, right? Followed by that, I'm sending computer. I mean, assuming I'm just sending 10, 20. Okay, I just send 10. Okay. Now it says a positional parameter cannot be found. If you remember, that's the same kind of command. Let us, you remember this command, right? Here, I hit enter. This is the same error. Almost I mean, only the Bluetooth and the 10 is changing. And how this much validation is happening, okay? Because we mentioned in our script command let binding. Okay, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off, comment it and save it, and if I run it again, okay, still I'll be getting an error. If you are able to guess, yes, we need to once we made a change, it will not automatically import it. We need to import it again by doing that same thing. Now let me say, now I'm sending the same 10. I'm not getting that strict restriction of parameter is not found or anything related. It is not doing any command let related at all. It is just taking any, let's say I'm sending 20 and 30, 40, 50 and hit enter. What is happening? It's displaying whatever the arguments I'm displaying, right? Let's say this arguments are all these 10, 20, whatever followed by the command or the PowerShell script function or command. All these things are called arguments, and everything will be stored here. Okay, and since it's an array, you can also call using this square bracket. 0 is for the first one, and then second one is for 1 and 2, so on so forth. And there is no limit at all. Arguments can have any number of I mean any number of humanly possible that you can type. That much it can store. What does that means? Let's say I go keep on, let's say, to all those things, it will keep on take it and then it will display. Okay, now you see the last one is the count. Okay, let us make right hyphen host all parameters, and first parameter. Okay, and all parameters count. Let us save, and whenever we are making change, we, we since it is a console, we are doing it. But if you are doing it in another PowerShell script, it will, we don't have to do it because it will automatically take it. Okay, here let us send see anything. Okay, now all parameters, it's displaying everything, and first parameter of this one, and count is 8. It's counting how many is there, and then it is saying count. So this is how we will be using it. When we will be using is, okay, let's say this computer name, okay, is something I wanted to just send any IP address, and then I wanted to get the computer name of that particular IP address, and I don't want to restrict the number of IP addresses I'm sending. Okay, and I want to use them, all of them, one by one, and then get the computer name. Let us say, let's try this. ns lookup. Okay, ip config. Okay, this is what we are getting, right? Let us try this. Copy, paste it, save it, and I'm gonna run it again. Before that, import it, and then I'm removing everything. Okay, now again we are still not passing any argument, we are just checking. Okay, this is working, right? 195, I mean whatever we are just directly we are using. Now I'm going to remove this. Okay, and then I'm going to remove, and then I'm going to do args 0 and save it. Okay, now let us try this. Okay, are we getting the same result? And you see the parameter it is taking, and then this is taking another parameter. But let me try what else. 192.168.1. Hit enter. It's again only giving my computer's name. I'm not getting this is from DNS, right? I'm not getting this one. Okay, so how I'm, even though I'm sending two, okay, it is not giving me any restriction, but I'm not able to use it, right? So what I would be doing it, args, let's say for each, or let's say we use the another for loop. Okay, $I is equals to 0, and then $I less than the total count, args dot count. Till then it will be going, and then $I plus plus. We have already seen what is this. Okay, and now we are gonna do it. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm just introducing I is 0, so I'm going to start it from 0, and whatever the number of arguments I'm going to count, okay, the count less than till the I is less than that. Let's say I'm sending two arguments. I will be first 0 and then 1, and 1 will be still less than 2. Okay, when it is equal to 2, or when it is moving more than 2, it will be automatically coming out. This I plus plus will be we know this is an unary operation. It will just add one by one. Now let's try this, and then we also write hyphen host res resolving. Save this, and then let us try now. Hit enter. Okay, now we could see it's resolving 135, and then it is resolving 192. Just since we don't have multiple IP address, I'm just copying this again, leave a space, and then paste it again, and then hit enter. You could see it is keep on going, and then it is keep on resolving. Okay, any number of arguments, it will keep on going and then resolving. So what is first thing is, without commandlet binding, the advantage is we can use the arguments, and then we can take any number of inputs and then do it. But when we wanted to use as a command, we want to restrict it only we can send only like how we use the command. Similarly, we want to use that particular function. In that scenario, we will be using this command-led binding. Now, all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this out, okay, and then I'm just gonna send the same thing again, and okay, basic. I didn't run again, right? Now let us run, and obviously it is gonna make sure this is a command and then everything is adhered as like a command. So that's what command-led binding is all about. And so I mean, it might look like a restriction as of now, but this will be giving lot of let's say coding control of your function, so that you will be able to effectively do validations, and then you will be having a complete control of your functions in spite of people taking advantage. I mean, some in spite of doing a lot of troubleshooting, you will be able to keep as controlled as possible. That's the first thing we wanted to cover, and that's all about the command let. And one more thing, important thing is, whenever, again reminding, command led binding, whenever we are using parameter should be there. Even though it is empty, we should definitely mention it. Okay, and that's all about command led binding. And then we also have, let's say, how do we use the same thing in, let's say, a script. Okay, I'm just copying this. Okay, I'm just copying the complete thing and open a notepad. And this is not a function, this is just a script. Okay, and in this script, let us say this as dns script dot ps1. Okay, then now let us go ahead and try dns script dot ps1. Now 192 dot, I copy this dns script, leave a space, and hit enter. This is exactly the same thing. Okay, the reason why I just copied and pasted and then made it as a script is there is no difference between how to declare a parameter, okay, in a script or a function. They both, we have already seen everything in function. How do we declare, how do we make him mandatory, all those things in the previous videos, right? That's the same thing. All we will be doing is whatever here we are doing, right? Whatever we are doing, we will be doing here, and it will not be a function. Okay, this is the script. And meaning, let us say we are actually gonna send something. Okay, let's say a. Okay, and I save this, and let me come to script hyphen, and I just press tab, and the A is automatically resolving, right? You see, I just type tab and A is automatically resolving. Let's say 192.168.1.1. I hit enter. Now this A is not an argument. Okay, this A is captured. I mean, it is an argument, but it is not captured as the all the arguments how we are passing here, right? Like this, it is not captured as an argument. So all the arguments will be captured, but since we hyphen A is declared, we started declaring, we take control of it. At that moment, we will be having, let's say, $a is the first parameter. After that, it will not act. Let's say now, since it is okay, let's do one thing, just quick thing. Resolving. $a. Let's save this, and then this one is $a, and save it. And hyphen a and 192.168 dot, hit enter. It's still resolving a and everything will be working fine, but a is this, I mean, we are explicitly saying this value will be a. Now we are going to try one more thing. Okay, let's copy one more value and leave a space, one more value, and hit enter. You could see it's resolving a as the first one, and whatever this two, whatever we are sending, these two additional thing, right, it's actually captured as the parameters, as arguments, and it will be still there, meaning when we are doing the script we can send again the same thing, the same concept. Basically, to remember clear as simply, okay, whenever we are using more than one, or let's say we want to control this one, okay, just 2 points, I'll make it very simple, just one, 2 points. Let's say if we want arguments to be n number, okay, any number, then will be either you don't use command let binding in function, okay, and another thing is, if you want to restrict, okay, let's say limited number, okay, or whatever, restrict the number of arguments, then use command let binding in function, okay. And the third thing about arguments is, in script you cannot, you don't have to do that, okay. And when we are using the script, the remaining things, okay, remaining argument parameters will be stored still as arguments. So that's all, the whole point, okay. So you don't want, I mean, you don't want any restriction, any number of, you want to pass any number of arguments, then don't use command let. You wanted a strict number of arguments, you don't want to them to use or more, let's say you don't want them to use more arguments, then use the command let binding, which will make command let, which will make the function into command let, and then it will give all the restriction whatever the command let will be doing. And in the script, uh, basically whatever parameters remaining will be stored in the arguments, okay. Here in this example, a is stored, a is 192.160, this one 68, resolving a, this is the one, right? But still the other two are stored as an argument. If you see the parameters, all parameters count as 2. Even though we send 3, it is actually taking 2 because $a already taken this. This is a one which is already assigned to some other argument. So remaining will be in the arguments. Now let's type args and hit enter. You will not be seeing anything, okay. It will resolve, okay, but you will not be seeing, it will be, you will be mostly using what within the script, okay. So I know little bit you will be getting confused, but if you just clarify these three things, that's more than enough, okay. And this is, do we need all those things? No, just know it, and you, when the time comes, you will automatically use it, okay. Don't try to impose it and then try to, implant it as you wanted to show, or want to try, okay. Just use it on demand basis, okay. Only when you definitely required some kind of conditions, then go ahead and use the command let. Other than that, you don't have to do that. So that's about commandlet binding, and then that's about how to call a function within the script. Okay, let's do one more thing. Now, this is the script, right? I'm opening another script, and what I'm gonna do is dollar dot slash dns script dot ps1. Okay, and then I'm not doing anything. Let's say write hyphen host script within script. Okay, and I'm gonna save it as script in script dot ps1 and hit enter. Again, you see the pattern dot leave a space dot dns script. Let's see how it goes. Okay, now since it has parameter, right? Gonna well, let us not do anything. Just we'll just check whether this imported successfully is at least coming, so that we know this script is calling this script. This is how we'll be calling one script to another script. Let us try it. Script. Is that the name? Yes. All right. You see here, imported successfully, all parameters, everything is coming, right? That's the thing. And it's actually waiting for a, because a is an argument. Okay, but the thing is, we don't want to do all those things. Okay, let's say 192.168.1.1. Okay, say this and run it. Now it will be working. Okay, so that is how we will be calling one script to another script. And we also seen how do we do that, how do we access a function from a file, from a script into a console. Similarly, you will be able to write all the functions, and then using the same method, this one, you will be able to, I mean, this is not required. Okay, this is all you need. Dot leave a space dot slash whatever the script name. This will allow the the child script to allow take control and then take access of all the functions within the parent script. So that's how you will be connecting one script to another script, and that we have seen it. Now let's come to a documentation, right? So let us say we are going to document something. So what we are going to document, let us open a notepad. Okay, I have already written it so that it will be easier for us to use it. Just give me one moment. I'll just take it. Okay, all the mouse scripts. Here we go. I found it. Now, first of all, you see here, this is how we will be making documentation. So why we would be making documentation? Because let's say we are converting this get hyphen example or whatever the function. Okay, we are actually converting it to a command, and we will be whoever using, they will be expecting that to be giving help. Let's say for an example, clear the script get hyphen help and get hyphen service and examples or detail. Let's say this is how we know, right? So when we are converting a function or anything, we want to also give the additional details about how this function can be used. And you don't have to remember all those things. It is kind of a template. Okay, how we have the PowerPoint template, everything will be already there. You'll be just making changes. So this dot synopsis, just give me a minute. this dot synopsis, a dot description, parameters, inputs, outputs, example, everything, whatever in the capital. Okay, now don't change anything. Whatever here within this below that synopsis and description, all those things, right? That is where you will be mentioning all the things. Okay, let's say how to run the example. Let's say uh, execute dot, what is the name of it, dot slash example dot ps1. Similarly, okay, anything. I, I'm just, first of all, we are not doing anything. We are just checking how to actually document it. Okay, I'll be sharing this, and then I'll be showing this how we will be using it. Okay, and again, how do we import get hyphen example? Example is not there. Now let us do comment function, right? Let's do that. Dot yes, all right, and hit enter. Now get hyphen example is there and hit enter. It's not happening anything because we are not actually doing anything. This is only for the help. Get hyphen help. We are again, if you see, we are treating the function very similar to a commandlet, and then hit enter. Now you might think we did not declare the commandlet parameter, that is to impose all the information. This is I mean, when I say impose, like putting all the restrictions and controls. Okay, so still, even whether you mention it or not, this can be used. This particular examples, this particular documentation can be used. Now, you could see what is the name of it, the synopsis, let's say PowerShell Titan, I said, and the brief description of it. And then you could synopsis, syntax, examples, all those things, right? And but I don't see, let's say, what all other things, inputs, outputs, examples, links, and I also have example, right? Yeah. So let me try example and hit enter. You see, I'm actually making my script very similar to a standard command. What all the standard command will be giving, I'm giving all the information. I'm giving the synopsis, I'm giving an example, I'm giving everything. This is how a professionally completed or commented and then documented script will be looking like. I mean, here again, this is just an example, but use the same thing, and when you are actually giving it to somebody else and the other people to use it, if you give in this format, it will be very helpful for them. Now, how about instead of this, I want everything, full details. This is where I'll be seeing everything: name, synopsis, syntax, parameters, inputs, outputs, notes, details, examples, related, everything. So that's all about. And one more thing is, you remember so far we were using only hash symbol to only to make one particular line, comment one particular line. Let's say I'm commenting here. Okay, this line is commented, means won't execute, right? But what if it we have a lot of more than 10 or 20 lines, and then we want to do multiple line comment? All we need to do is, this is the one. Start with the greater symbol, and then followed by the hash, and then end the same thing. That's a simple thing. So by doing that, we will be actually making single line. This is the one, and then multiple lines. This is the one. And we have seen how do we import a script within a script, and then another script, all those things. Now we have, let us see about hyphen verbose. What is verbose? It, by English definition, verbose is like giving more information, right? Let us say get hyphen service and then spooler. Okay, this is running. I'm gonna stop this service. Stop hyphen service, and then it stopped. Okay. Now, what if I want to actually know more information? Okay, let's say start and then verbose. Okay, hit enter. You'll be seeing little bit more information like performing the operation start service on the target. Okay, this is very, I mean, one line. Okay, but in few commands, let's say let you are moving you are creating a user, or you are actually trying to create a VMware, or you are trying to create a AWS machine or anything. In those scenario, what will happen is the command will fail, and whatever you are seeing, right, the command, the error, or let's say a warning, anything will not be giving more details. So when we put a hyphen verbose will be almost available in all the commands. And what this will be doing is it will get you all the information step by step. First I'm doing this, and then doing this, and doing this, and in this particular place I'm getting an error, and that is why I'm stopping. So that details, so it will be very helpful when you are troubleshooting some kind of commands. So that's the one I want you to remember. And that's a verbose. And then let's go for start sleep. What is start sleep? It is just gonna make some delay in the script. What kind of delay? Delay in time. Means, let's say you wanted to run a script. Okay, let's open, and then let's write hyphen host date. Okay, and then start hyphen sleep hyphen. First of all, I'll show that command in start hyphen sleep get hyphen help. We can do milliseconds, okay, but I'll just show you the things. So seconds and milliseconds, okay, hyphen s and hyphen m, but best let's go with let's say start hyphen sleep. Milliseconds is the one. Hyphen m will also work, but go with the full one so that we can always know what is exactly happening. Let's put 100, and you see it's immediately done. It is coming out. If I put 500, you will be able to see a little bit delay. And if I put 5000, you will be able to see 5 seconds of delay, right? So why we would need this? Let's say you are checking a particular service. Okay, let's say this is the, so let's say this is what get hyphen service. Okay, and spooler is a service, and then I'll first run this command here, get hyphen service spooler, and then select hyphen object, and then property is status, and it is running, right? I'm gonna assign it to status check. Okay, now status check will be this one. If I put dot status, it'll be running. Okay, so this is, I'm just gonna copy this. Okay, imagine this is a very important service in your server. Okay, and you want to keep checking every 1 hour or something, but here let us do only millis. I'll just copy and paste milliseconds 500. Okay, and then I'm gonna write checking the critical service status, and then wait, I just write hyphen host if is equals to running, then I'll be saying everything is all right, right? So let's say all is well. Else, right host, something wrong. So I'm gonna save it as a critical service check dot ps1. Then all right, now we are actually checking for 500 seconds, but we want to keep doing this, right? So what we are gonna do, we are gonna do just while loop, okay? And in the while loop, we are just simply gonna mention true, means always it will be true. It will be keep on running. You don't have to schedule it in a task manager. Let's run it. First thing is it's very quickly the results are coming, so we will not be able to see that. Let's make it as 1000. Okay, we don't worry about something wrong, we will be fixing that. Now we are actually checking how do you see that delay is there, and then it is keep on checking. So this is how we will be checking, not in very thousands milliseconds. That will actually make your server more or down, right, performance wise. So whatever the seconds, make it as 1 hour or 2 hour or 4 hours. Do the math and then put it in milliseconds or seconds, and then you will be able to use it effectively. Now, why this is not working? Because we are not actually using dot status. Okay, now all is well is keep on going on. Okay, and you can also do this and then report it in somewhere like let's say you can send us an email or something, all those things. So that is where the start sleep, and again you can use wherever you want to introduce some delay. Let's say you stop or you restart a server, okay, and you know typically it is a domain controller or it is an exchange server. It will take let's say 5 minutes, minimum 5 minutes or maximum 15 minutes. In that case it will be a good idea to implement, I mean make sure we the script is waiting for 15 minutes, then continue running the commands, in spite of just keep on pinging it to wait, right? So you are actually making you are saving your utilization, cpu utilization, in spite of keep checking. So anything wherever you want to introduce the delay and then want to make it work as per your requirement, you will be using start hyphen sleep. Milliseconds is very less, and seconds will be the thing, right? So you can check it. Now we know read host. Let's move on to the other things. Read host, yes, we know read host. How write host will be writing anything to your console. Read host will be reading something from us. It is just waiting for me and then typing I'm test, and it is printing. That's fine. Okay, now I'm gonna assign it to, let's say, password, and I'm gonna give it as a prompt. Okay, and then I'm gonna say type your password. And what I'm doing is I'm typing test, okay, and hit enter. So somebody is over my shoulder and then they could see I'm typing the test, right? So how to make sure it is actually getting as a secure string, or star star star, how we type the password? This is exactly we need to do. I'm typing the test, but you will be seeing like star. Now if you type password, here is a thing. You will not, even if you just retrieve it, still you will be seeing as a secure string. How? If you go to a particular user, active directory user, and then go to his actual core ads edit, and password field will be exactly the secure string. means even you are the global administrator, still you will not be able to find the password of any user. You can reset, but you cannot find it. Of course, there are a lot of third-party tools that can hack it, but typically you will not be able to find it. Now, why we are starting with this? Because we are gonna deal with some secure string and how to get a credentials, all those things. Now, let's get a credential and then assign it to this one. This will actually populate and then this will ask you some kind of, let's say, uh, username and password. This will look very good, right? Let's say you are actually starting a script and you want to make sure the username and password is actually valid, okay? And then only the script will be executing. That will be very cool, right? That will make more secured, and then you will also be I mean that looks very cool, right? So let's say elite lands and then password is 123. I hit enter. Now I'm typing cred and hit enter. You see this username is visible, but the password will not be visible. And there is no way as of now to go ahead and convert it as a plain text again. Plain text is whatever the password we type. Now, is that the only case? Can we not at all change? We can change. We are going to see that, but let us see a few other things. So why we are getting this credential and then why we are doing this? Let us try this. Get hyphen Windows service. Okay, let's copy this, and in that we have something called credential. Okay, in that we could send this credential, and then the computer name is whatever the computer name. So what will happen is this command will be actually connecting to this particular computer with this credential and then running this command. It will be giving error because that machine is not there and this credential is not there. But again, just to show that is how we need to use the credential. And there are a lot of places you will be able to use the credential. Let's say invoke hyphen command credential here, and even I think get hyphen process credential, it's not there. Okay, let's say get hyphen service. Okay, so few things, a few commands by default will be having the credential. Okay, and you, if the few commands are not there, still you want to do that, you want to implement the credential, we can still do it using the if statement, how we just used if statement, right? To check whether if the credential is correct, then it will go ahead and execute it similarly. Okay, so that is what, and let us say, okay, now it is all again, we are all getting and then storing all these things, and then this is all fine, but let's say this will be the real time thing. You will be actually want to save your credential in a file, because every time you don't want to actually type the password, like I mean you don't, yeah, let's say you are executing a very secured script, and it will run only when you type the password. Okay, so in that scenario you don't want to type the password every time whenever we are executing, right? So it will be a good idea to store it in a file, in maybe in any secured location in the computer itself. But still, if we store it as a plain text, we have a very good choice, very good opportunity. The other people will be able to see the credential, and the security breach is there, right? So how do we fix that issue? That is how we are, that is what we are going to do it. Okay, first thing is we are going to convert. Okay, let's first credential. This is already this one, right? So let us do password. Okay, let's say password, or yeah, password is equal to password at 123. Let's say this is the password, and I want to convert to a secure string. Now, secured password is equals to, and hit enter. Okay, 1 second. I'll do one thing. Hyphen string, right? Okay, password. Why it is not in password dot get type? This is string, and all right. Let's check the example. Get hyphen help hyphen examples. Wow, there are a lot of examples. Okay, you are getting, and then you are getting convert to secure string. Okay, encrypted. Okay, it requires to be secured already, right? Means it's not taking as a plain text. So let us do one thing. Password as plain text force. Now what I did is I'm again sending the password, but as a plain text, I'm saying it is a plain text, and then I'm forcing it to go ahead and still make it as a secure password. Now password is still password at 123. Now we converted to secure password. Initially it was giving an error. Now since I used two parameters, I'm able to convert it successfully. Now this is converted. Now how am I gonna save it to, let's say, a file? All we need to do is just set the content, okay, to, let's say, password 1.txt. Okay, now open the password 1.txt. You will be seeing the password. I'm sorry, my mistake. We need to send the secure password, right? Set hyphen content 2.txt. Okay. Now, if you see here, it is just a secure string actually. Okay, means actually we are. I'll show what is the problem here. Okay, first of all, let's get the credential. Let's get another credential here. Okay, now let's say elite clans, and then 123 is the password. Now I'm gonna send it to password 3.txt and open the password 3.txt. Now you could see this is an automated information. That is not enough. Means you cannot bring it back and then you cannot use it. Okay, so how we are gonna do it? Let us try that. Mm, okay. Okay, we'll take this first. this we know we are taking a password and then we have converted it and then we make sure it is a secure string. Fine. Now we already converted to a secure string. This is done. Now we are gonna create a credential called this is how we will be actually getting the, creating the credential. Whatever we are typing in the graphical user interface, right? This is exactly what we are actually gonna do. Here, in spite of that, the username, comma, secure password. Okay, that is the secure password we want to send, and then complete it, and hit enter. Now credential type, and then you will be seeing elite lines, whatever we just declared, and then the secure string. Now let us try the same command. I'll just copy get hyphen tell here credential, and this credential is what, and the computer name is the Big Bang. Again, since the password is wrong, this will not work. But this is how we will be doing. So just three commands. First command, we are securing a first thing is password. This is a plain password. Password is still password at 123. Okay, and we are converting it to a secure string using this convert secure string. And initially we got an error, so we made it as a plain text. Means we are saying this is a plain text, and then take it as a plain text, and then I'm forcing you to convert it as a secure string. And then it took it and it converted as a secure string. Now how we get hyphen credential? Similarly, whatever here happening, that is what exactly happening here. New object getting a PS credential, and here username followed by the secure string. Now we are storing it into a credential. How we store get hyphen credential to credential. Similarly, we are doing this, and then we will be passing it wherever we want. So this is how we take a simple password and then change it to a secure string and then use it to a file. Use it to a command. Now let us say, how do we store the password? Okay, now let us see that. Okay. Here we go. Okay, and I created this. I want to just check this particular command. Password 4.txt and password 4.txt. Okay, now that is just gonna save it as a normal thing, and this is how we are gonna do it. Okay, so this again, well, it's kind of a combination of when you if you watched the graphical user interface already, we know we will be actually using .NET framework classes and then PowerShell both, right? Similarly, this is what the security, cryptography, all these things are coming from .NET framework. Okay, so how do we check that? Just copy and then search for it. It will be going to .NET. Okay, so .NET Core 3.1, that is the one supporting PowerShell 7.1 and 7.0. Now, first thing is we are going to create a key. What is a key? Key is the one, let's say, if you are aware of the certificate, right? In the certificate, we have two keys. So one is a private key, another one is public key, right? Similarly, we are going to create a key ourselves, and the byte can be 32 or 16 or 64, anything. Let's say 32 is the byte. We are creating just a byte, 32. I'm just gonna this key. So it's creating 32 numbers, okay? And then this is a key, okay? Now everything will be zero. I'm gonna create a random key myself, okay? So how I'm gonna create a random key? I'm gonna execute this particular command. You don't have to understand this command at all, okay? All you need to know is this will create some crypto service, means it will make this as a eligible to make it as a key. Okay, now we are passing the variable whatever we just created, and then hit enter. Now let's say what is the key. Now do you see the numbers, random numbers? That is what it is going to create. Okay, this is, again, you don't have to understand what is this number, what is inside, all those things. All we need to understand is this is the key we just created to secure our password. Now let's put it into a key file. Okay, I'm going to save it as a key file, whatever the key, right? I'm going to out it to, let's say, AES key, right? Let us say secure.key. Okay, and dot key is not mandatory, but you can keep it at .txt as well, but dot key will be helping you to know this is the key. Now let's open the secure key. It will say it will not be opening because it doesn't know how to open the key file. Now let's open it with the notepad. This is the one. Fine. So we put it first, we are creating a secure string, I mean secure key, and then that key is stored into a file. Now I'm going to get a credential. Okay. Okay. Get hyphen credential. And then I'm going to save it to cred2. Okay. And here, let's say dot slash HP 0 and 19. Okay, done. Now I'm just checking the credential 2 is there. IT Big Bang HP. Who am I? Okay, elite lines, but that's fine. No problem. Okay, now the third thing is I'm gonna convert using this key, this particular key, right? Whatever the key we just created, let's say secure.key. I'm going, and then we are gonna save it to a password. Let's say 6. Okay, so what is gonna happen? Cred2 dot password, we are taking that, and then we are converting to a secure string. How we are converting? Using a key, actually, hyphen key. And what is a key? It is nothing but the get content from our secure key. Let's say secure key, and then means we are gonna use this key, and then we are gonna make it more secure, this particular, and gonna store it to somewhere else. Now we are gonna save the value content to, let's say, secured password file dot txt. Now let's open secured password file dot txt. Now do you see the difference. What is the difference? Let's say I open here, this one and this one. Okay. If you do just directly save any file, okay, any particular credential, everything will be just having the same PS credential. You will not be having any information about the password at all. So the right way to store is to create a key and then convert it to some kind of encryption, and then save it to a file. This way the actual the password will be stored in an encrypted way. Okay, so that is the reason why this will not work and this will work, because this has some content in encrypted format. Now that is encrypted is fine. Now how do we get it decrypted? um just give me a minute. I'm just gonna change these things according to whatever the variables we are using. Okay, this password is, we are gonna get it from password.text, right? That does not be created. That we created get hyphen content, get hyphen content secured. Okay, and then get content, and this is not AES key. We are just gonna say secure dot key. Right, hit enter. This is a secure string. We are gonna, I mean, basically what we are doing is here we just stored, I mean, we did not store it in any file or anything. We directly saved in the password. In spite of that, we are actually here, we save it to a particular file, okay, which actually have the data. Now from that particular file, we are retrieving the secure string. Now it is a secure string. And now I'm gonna again assign that to, let's say, cred, or let's say password 10 is equals to, this is the one. Now again the same thing. Okay, credential 10, let's say elite lands, and why we are doing all these things? First thing is we don't want, to type the secure string every now and then, and we don't want that direct. If we use this okay, this everything, we have to actually use the plain text. The password at 123 will be within the file, within the script itself, if we don't want to type it. And if we don't want to type it, and then if you also still want it to be secured, then we will be going to the first one. We will be either reading it from a host or getting from the credential. So I'll say one by one. First thing is, we are directly getting as a read host as a secure string. That's the first layer. Second layer is you will be getting as a credential. And then the problem with these two things is it needs you to type the password. These two will be actually saving your credential. It will not be exposed, but you will not be able to store it in a file, because I just shown you, right? It will be just saving as a secured file. It will not have any information. So we wanted a method to actually to store that particular credential in an encrypted format in a file and then retrieve it. Why we should save it in a file? Because we don't want to keep on type it. First thing, okay. So there are two reasons. One is don't want to type the password every time, okay. And then second thing is we don't want to expose the password. If we, let's say if we are using this one, read host or anything, this will not expose, but it will, you have to type the password every time. And if you use the password, let's say password is a password at 123, you are exposing directly in the script, right? So we don't want that. So for that, we are actually creating a key and then converting the key into, associating the key with the credential and then storing it to an external file, and external file from there we are retrieving it. And then now we are using the same command. We are not changing anything. All three things, whatever this one, option 1, option 2, and then option 3 and option 4 does the same thing. Finally we are just trying to execute get hyphen wmi, and this is the one we are trying. But the reasons are, this is the one which will be able to save it, store it without exposing, without typing the password and everything. Now before version 7.0, this is how you will be actually retrieving the password. Okay, now we are done with that, and then all these four methods are done. Okay, read host and then read it from a credential, read it from the plain password, and then put it into a file. And I suggest you to go with always with this one. This is the most secured way and then easiest way. Again, you don't have to remember anything. All you need to do is just copy it and then paste it and then use it. Since you know the concept now, you will be able to use it effectively. And now before version 7.0, okay, there is mm, this is how we will be actually changing a password. Okay, this is the plain password, let's say. And then secure password, you see there are two commands. If you keep on checking, we are keep on playing with two commands. One is convert from secure string, means there is a secure string, it is converting from there to something else. Okay, it can be plain text or saving somewhere else or doing some other option in a secure string, converting from a secure string. And another one is convert to secure string, is the one which will be actually converting the plain text to the secure string. So there are the two different commands we were keep on playing. Now let's convert this. And again, if I just type this, it will give me an error. Okay, uh, to that as plain text and force it. Now secure password is there, it is again okay, fine. This is again, this is the only thing you will be changing. Okay, just copy and paste it. What is this all about? This is again a .NET framework library which will be actually doing encryption, all those things. Okay, you don't have to understand all those things. Okay, just I'm just copying and pasting and then doing it. Now let's see what is that in BT. You see a number, right? You remember when we open the key file, we see lot of this kind of thing, right? This is in the key file that the data, the password is converted like this, very complicated, right? Similarly, this is another method, and then this will actually save it as a number. Okay, whatever the random number, it might look like random number, but it is an encrypted number. From there we can actually get it back from this number. Okay, we can get actually back again password at 123. We got it back again, right? So what are the things we did? We started with plain password, we converted using secure string, that is .NET framework, and then to bring it back again to string to automatic, and then we will be getting the password. So this is how we will be from this is what exactly we are doing. First, plain text to secure password, again from there plain text, retrieving it same. And in PowerShell 7.0, here get hyphen host is 5.1. Okay, now I type, this is the only thing. Okay, I'll be sharing this. I'll be showing what is not available. Now secure string is let's say something. Okay, now hyphen. Okay, I'm searching for as this one as plain text. Okay, this is only available in PowerShell 7.0 and above. Okay, and here I'll not it is not available in the previous version. So whatever we are doing here, right, this is for previous version, and now it is already implemented. All you need is just 3 lines. It is that is exactly gonna do the same thing whatever it does. So that is all about securing string. And what all things we covered, I'll just quickly go through. First thing is we have gone through the command-led binding and why we need to do it. And there are two things importantly we have to remember. If we don't want to we want to restrict, we will be using the command let. We don't want to restrict, we will not be using command let. And everything will be actually stored in arguments, and argument is nothing but a parameter. Okay, it is an automatic variable array, and then will be using a square brackets we will be accessing it. And then we have also seen how to use it to resolve IP address to DNS name. And then we have also seen arguments count, all those things. And we also clearly mentioned there is no difference between script and function, how we are using the parameters, the same declaring and using the same way. Script also can be taking any kind of parameters, and then the same way we will be actually declaring it. And we have seen about documentation. Okay, in the documentation we seen how to comment it, single line, multiple line. And we have seen verbose is mainly for troubleshooting purpose, and detailed information, that is all verbose is. You wanted to see what is exactly happening. In that case, you will be just adding hyphen verbose in the command. Start sleep will be introducing some delay in time. And read host, and from there we went to three type of, I mean, almost four type of securing string. One is secure the string as a read host, and then get a credential which where you can type it, and then directly the password, and then convert the password to secure string and use it. But we don't want all those things, so we use a key, convert it, save it in a file, retrieve it, and then from there we will be using it. And also we have seen how to make a plain text to secure string, secure string to plain text. So that's all we have seen. And it might be I know it will be currently it will be looking little bit confused, but if you just go through it, we have just seen 5 commands, 5 or 6 commands. One is to string, another one is from string, and then get content, all these things you will be knowing it. Okay, and then what are the things, start sleep, and then command led binding. Okay, and what else we have seen. Okay, new object, you know that get content is self-explanatory now, you know that all those things. So, and as I said, all these things you don't have to remember. Everything you don't have to remember. Just understand the underlying concepts. You should able to just copy and paste it, and then there is no need of remembering it at all. So being said that, guys, have a wonderful day, and we will be seeing in the Q&A sessions. And make sure you today go ahead and try all these things. Just I'm gonna share all these transcript and then files and scripts, everything. Just go through it and then make sure you are trying it, and then let's see how it goes. And then that's all about today's session, and let's find up today, and then let's see in the next session. Thanks all, guys. Have a wonderful day.